Welcome guys! After the release of PUBG 1.0, the balance of assault rifles shifted. Before 1.0, the M16A4 was my personal and many others' preferred choice of assault rifle, but now many are leaning towards the M416 as their personal favorite. This guide is about this wonderful weapon and how to properly use it. In this guide I'll go over the following: the stats and recoil, the best attachments, the M4 as a close to medium range weapon, and the M4 as the 4x master weapon. The hit damage of the M4 is 41, which is the same as the M16 and the SCAR-L. The bullet velocity is 880 meters per second, which is slightly faster than the SCAR-L and slightly lower than the M16. When spraying, you can achieve a maximum DPS of 476, which is about 10% more than the SCAR-L. And you'll be able to deplete an entire 40-round extended magazine in just 3.5 seconds. The recoil is amazingly good and definitely one of the strongest arguments to pick up the M4. Because of the very low horizontal recoil, the spray will be easy to control and simply ensure that more bullets will hit their target. You can find an in-depth comparison of the different AR spray patterns in my guide on 1.0 recoil for assault rifles. Another highly important statistic of the M4 is the single tap vertical recoil. When tapping with the weapon, how much does it move vertically per shot? Obviously lower is better, and the lower the vertical recoil is, the faster and easier you can tap shoot with the scope attached. This is a single tap recoil comparison between the M416, SCAR-L and M16A4. Although there is a minor variance to how this looks, this is the most common result. Marking the vertical recoil and comparing the results, we can see that the M4 has the lowest single tap vertical recoil and the M16A4 the highest. This makes the M4 the easiest of the three to tap with. And now to the best attachments for the M416. The suppressor will be your best bet most of the time, simply because it reduces the sound of the weapon dramatically and completely eliminates the flash. But the power of the compensator cannot be ignored. My best advice is to have the suppressor attached to the weapon and the compensator in your bags ready to swap to when you need that extra recoil reduction going into a duel or when in the later circles. When it comes to grips, you should use the angle grip as it reduces the horizontal recoil of the weapon. You cannot predict horizontal recoil as you can do with vertical, but there is an exception to this rule. If your main application of the M4 is using a 4x or 8x scope and shoot using single tapping, then the vertical grip is a better choice as the vertical recoil is very difficult to control with a scope attached. As a general rule, think about it like this. The faster you tap and the closer you are to your target, the better the angle grip is, and the slower you tap and the further away from a target you are, the better the vertical grip is. You should of course always go for an extended quick draw mag, a tactical stock and a sight or scope too. I prefer the red dot and the 4x combo, but this is highly preference based, so choose the sight and scope you're most comfortable using. So how to use the M4 optimally? The M4 is a highly versatile weapon as it can be used for short, medium and long range with great results. On short range it feels like a submachine gun as the recoil is low and the DPS is high. On medium range you can still burst or spray with good results, but tapping here becomes an often better and more reliable way to shoot. On longer ranges the weapon handles great due to the low single tap vertical recoil, and the high bullet velocity makes hitting moving targets on range a pleasurable experience. It can simply be used for pretty much every single situation you will encounter in the game, and it is actually so versatile that the double M4 loadout is totally viable. You can have one M4 geared for short to medium range and another one geared for medium to long range. Never be afraid to spray with the M4. It is easy and will be one of your best weapons to do this with. When controlling the spray of the M4, keep in mind that you will need to pull down more with your mouse than you do with the SCAR-L, even though it has less vertical recoil. The reason is that the rate of fire is higher with the M4, so the muzzle will go up faster. Don't let this fool you, it's all about getting into that feeling about how much you need to pull down. Something that will come with practice and frequent usage. And the magic doesn't stop when putting a 4x scope on the M4, because the 5.56 4x scope makes perfect sense in terms of aim points, as each marking is where the bullet will hit on the various distances. Something that you can see more of in my 5.56 4x scope video. And yes, I'm talking about the 4x on the M4 here, but don't forget that it is also amazing to use on the Scar L and also on the M16A4. The reason that the 4x scope is better on the M4 is because of the lower muzzle rise when single tapping. Combine this with a high bullet velocity and you got a weapon that is amazing at hitting moving targets on longer ranges. This is also why you often shouldn't waste time using your Cardioid for these long-range moving targets, but instead just take the 4x scope and put it on your assault rifle instead. Another thing that the M4 does so well is rapid tapping with the 4x on longer ranges. This is a very difficult shooting technique that you mostly see professional players use. I am personally not very good at this, but I started practicing when I figured out how good this actually is. And the M4 is the easiest weapon to do this with. Rapid 4x tapping is difficult to control because of the vertical recoil when shooting using a scope, and will require practice, but trust me, it is worth it, and once you learn it, you will kill more targets at medium to long range when using the 4x scope. So in conclusion, the M416 is no doubt the most versatile commonly found weapon in the game. It is amazing at short range, it has a crazy good handling when spraying, a super high bullet velocity, and it has the best single tapping recoil of the commonly found assault rifles. Now that's all I had for you guys in this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, subscribe to the channel to stay updated on future content. You can also financially support me on Patreon, get your name in the videos, and even get access to personal coaching done by me. And I'll see you guys next time.